Hey everybody, how you guys doing today? I know I'm a little bit early, but I'm kind of, excited. Got excited that I'm prepared and ready to teach you guys for day three of how to save $200 within 7 days. I am so excited, and I hope you guys are enjoying all the videos and all the information. I really hope that it's helping you tremendously. I'm in a new area. So I got a new different background. Today is my like meditation day. So I'm so excited about what's going on. I really do hope that everything that I've been teaching you has been beneficial for you and has helped you on your journey if you have already started, or it taking you getting giving you some aha moments so that you can get started and be successful. Right, I want you to be successful on your financial freedom journey, and that's why I am here to help you. That's why I did this challenge so that people can start saving. We're living in a very difficult and tough times, but I'm sure that these times will either be over or it will subside, and we can get on with the things that we have to do, especially for the Lord. So I'm excited. Today is day three. Day three. So I'm going to do a little bit of housekeeping. I'm going to stall a little bit because I don't want to start teaching, and then at 2:30, people start coming in, and then they're missing a whole lot. So just bear with me. I'm going to do some rambling. Today has been an amazing day. Truly, truly amazing day. God has just been really blessing me, my family, my business, my ministries. God has just deposited some amazing things. I want to share with you the nonprofit that I started last month. It's called Faith and Finance Ministries, and we're going to do some amazing things. And I'm so excited about the things that's going to happen. So, what Faith and Finance Ministries has started doing, we started giving away meals to the people in the Newcastle, Newark, and Bear area here in Delaware. Giving away hot meals. Well, it starts getting cold because it's cold outside, but we've been giving away sandwiches. We do it twice a month, every other week, right? So I've connected with the head of the Hope Center. It's a new shelter here in Newcastle, and I'm looking forward to speaking with her more in depth about what I want to do with the Hope Center. So what I want to do is I want to, of course, teach them about finances, about budgeting, about credit, about building their credit and things of that nature. But I also want to bring in like guest speakers who are managers or owners of companies who are looking to hire people. So, oh, I got an idea of somebody I can get in touch with. So I'm going to reach out to her soon. But anyway, so I'm going to have them come in and just talk about their businesses, talk about the positions that they're hiring for, and all those good things, so that they can, meet some people that really want to work and want to, do better for their families. They just ran into some hard times. So I am looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to the Easter food giveaway. God has been talking to me all night, literally all night, about before I went to sleep and while I was dreaming. He has been talking to me the whole time, and I'm blown away. So we're going to give away food baskets, not just for Easter dinner, but meals for 5 days. So, and we're going to deliver them. So soon I'm going to have it where for people who wants to volunteer, I'm going to have an application for that. I'm going to have it where a portal where people can donate, if not food, money, whatever, to donate to that cause. And the goal is to reach 100, give away 100 meals to 100, give away food to 100 families. So I'm so excited about that, and I cannot wait to get the information out there. So I got a lot of work to do, and I have no time to rest and slumber. So it's now 2:30. I'm going to get started with today's teaching. Today is day three, and we're going to talk about where to put the money. So this challenge is about saving money. So saving for emergencies. That's the key thing here. Is saving for emergencies. We can save for other things, but what's important is that we save for our emergencies because life happens and life happens all the time. And when life happens, what do we usually resort to? We usually go to borrowing. We usually go to complaining. We usually go to just depression. And I want to just stop all of that. No more borrowing. It doesn't matter. You may say, Clarice, I don't have any credit cards. I'm not saying maybe you're not the person that's borrowing with credit cards, but maybe you're a type of person that borrows from friends, borrows from family, or maybe you know somebody that's always coming to you and borrowing from you. I'm ready to just stop all of that and start getting you guys on the right path so that you can be financially free. All right. So financially free. So today, let me do some housekeeping. All right. So if this is your first day watching the video, all right, and you want to participate in the challenge, I want you to go back, right, and scroll down and go to day 3. I mean, not day 3. Watch day 1's video and watch day 2's video. All right, day 1 and day 2, and do the homework for day 1 and day 2. Invite people to the challenge. All right. If you invite people to the challenge, there you could be entered into the drawing to win a prize. Right. And then the prize is the person who does all the homework and invites people to the challenge. Now, after today, you can't really invite anyone to the challenge because it's a lot of stuff. The videos are like 30 to 45 minutes long. It's a lot of stuff, a lot of information. After today, it's kind of people may not have the time to put it in. So I'm cutting off of the invitations to be a part of the group, be a part of the challenge today. All right. But if you do all the homework, watch all the videos, comment on the videos, do all the homework. I said that like 3 times, right? Do all the homework. You will be entered in the drawing to win $25 cash. So I can cash app it to you, or I can send you a gift card. I haven't decided. I think it's my best bet and the easiest route will be to cash app it to someone, to you, to the winner. So if you don't do all the homework, if you don't participate in the challenge, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to have to just keep it because I won't have a winner. So you got to do everything in order to win it. I wanted to give this away, this $25 away, to help you boost your savings. So just to help give you a quick boost in your savings. All right. So that's what it's for. And I hope I can get a winner this Saturday. So the drawing will take place this Saturday at 11:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. All right. Eastern Standard Time. So make sure that you participate, you watch the videos and do the homework, and you make comments on all the videos, all the content. All right. So let's get started. I got to get off of here at 3:00 because I have a prayer meeting. All right. So let's recap. Day 1, we talked about the importance of budgeting. The importance of budgeting. Why do we budget? Because it helps us see what is coming in and what is going out and compare it. So it will see how much we could be saving. That is like one of the biggest keys to financial freedom, is knowing what's going in. We got to be good stewards over what God has given us. So we have to know what's going in and what's coming out. When we have a business, right, we have a bookkeeper, right? We have a bookkeeper, and the bookkeeper is doing that for us. So we got to be our own personal bookkeepers. God said if we're faithful over a few things, to make us rulers over many. So if we're unfaithful with what's managing what's going in and what's coming out, what's coming in and what's going out, then we're not going to be faithful over the more, because we're going to have the same habits, right? Day 2, we talked about self-discipline and how discipline and lack of discipline just keeps us in bondage. It makes our barriers weak. When life happens financially, we don't have anything to fall back on, right? So we want to be disciplined with our finances, and we always want to keep God first. So we want to acknowledge him in all of our ways, especially our finances, so that he can direct our path. That is the instructions. That's the instruction. If you want direction, from God, ask him for it. Right? That's wisdom. That's wise, right? God is wisdom. So if we need wisdom, he said, come and ask me for it and I will give it to you. All right. So today we're going to talk about, now that you are doing your budget, now that you are saving, now, I mean, not saving, but now that you have seen and realized, or going to see and realize what you need to do in order for you to see more, right? Now you need to know where to put this money. All right. You got to know where to put this money. Putting it under the mattress is not going to help you. It might protect your money from, bank fees and things like that. Or if the economy crashes, it's going to protect you from that. But guess what? It's not going to grow anything. It might even lose value because of inflation, right? So we don't want to put it stuck it in our mattress. We don't want to do that. We want to put it somewhere where it's going to grow, and it's going to grow at a rate. Grow, when I say grow, I'm talking about interest, and you will receive interest at a rate that is way more than 0% under your mattress. All right. So I want to tell you a story. I'm going to start today with my story. After I stopped eating out. Remember, I was eating out like every morning and 3 or 4 times a week, and I was buying lunch at work, right? Buying lunch at work. After I stopped eating out, I and I let me share this with you for those of you who are just tuning in today. Let me share this part with you as well. After I stopped eating out, remember I was spending over $400 a month in takeout food. Over $400. That's a lot of money. God, that is so much money. That is like a car payment on takeout food alone. And when I realized how much money I was wasting, I completely stopped cold turkey. I did not waste any time. And eventually, after several days, after several months, it started to pay off. I started seeing money left over in my account after paying bills. Of course, I was behind in a lot of the bills as well. So I had to start catching up on those bills. So as I started catching up and I wasn't eating out, I started seeing money every month after paying my bills. You might be saying, what money? And it wasn't like $30, $50, $60. No, it was hundreds of dollars. I started seeing $100, $200, $300, $400, $500. I was like, whoa, whoa. And you want to know what I started doing? I want you to guess. I want you to put in the comments, guess what I started doing when I started seeing how much money I had left over after my expenses. I'll wait. Nobody's on right now, so I'm not going to wait too long. But if you guess that I started saving, is that what you guessed? If it is, you are absolutely wrong. You are wrong, because remember, I didn't know anything about budgeting. I learned about budgeting from my friend at work who was making the same amount of money I was making. Right? I learned about that. So this was the very beginning of my journey. I didn't know anything. I wasn't taught growing up how to budget. I wasn't taught growing up how to balance the checkbook. I had saw my mom do it, but she never sat down and taught me. And I didn't, at that time growing up, I didn't care. It wasn't of interest to me. It did spark in my mind like, what's mommy doing? But I never sat and asked her. Right? For whatever reason it was. I just didn't ask her. So saving was, no, I didn't save anything. What I did was I started spending it. I started putting in the budget, getting my hair done on a consistent basis every 2 weeks. I was at the hair appointment. I made my hair appointment before I left the chair. Right? I made sure my son had a haircut. He always had a haircut. I never let him go without a haircut. But before we left the barbershop, before he left the chair, I was making his appointment for 2 more weeks. Right? I started spending. I started eating out again, but I make sure it was in my budget so I could do it. So I wasn't saving any money. The money was just sitting there. right? So why am I sharing this with you? Because I made a mistake. I made a mistake. If I had known back then that I should have been saving and putting it in a fun, in a place where it would grow interest. I didn't know anything about interest. I didn't know anything about compound interest, right? If I had started doing that, I would have saved more than what I saved within months. So what but what I did start doing was I started investing in my 401k. I started investing in my future. So I didn't just let it just sit there. I just started putting it towards my 401k. Um, and I started growing that. But I needed a emergency savings. I needed an emergency savings because when if the emergencies happened, I didn't I didn't have anything to fall back on because I was spending the money. Now my 401k, you guys know that comes out of my account, out of my paycheck before I even see it. So I didn't have to worry about that. But once I started, learning and researching and things like that, I became more and more intrigued about it. I became more and more interested about, oh, I could put money someplace. And somebody said, I heard on a whim, make your money work harder for you and make your money work harder for you and not you work harder for your money. I was like, oh, so I don't have to get a part-time job in order to get to where I wanted to be. So I don't have to do all that. No, we don't. We don't have to get a part-time job. Um we don't have to work harder like um baking and cooking. That stuff is hard work. And on my days off after working as a CNA for 8 hours on my feet, lifting, pulling, even if I use a lift, my body was sore. So I didn't want to do anything else that was going to put physical labor. I wanted to enjoy my time off with myself, have time for myself, have time for my boyfriend at the time. My husband was my boyfriend then, and had time for my son. I wanted to enjoy the things that I wanted to do. I wanted to enjoy church, right? So what did I do? I started researching. I started reading. I started, learning about this money working harder for me and me working hard, me not having to work hard for it and still grow income and wealth. Right. So once I did and I started applying what I was learning, I started saving thousands of dollars. Kind of high. Started saving thousands of dollars. And I saved over $4,000 within months. $4,000 within months. So here are some tricks that I did. All right. Of course, I want to share a scripture with you. Where's my scripture? Oh, I gotta go up. I want to share a scripture with you guys. Matthew 25:16 through 17. These are two verses about the parable about the three stewards. All right. Let's read it together. I want you to read it and study and meditate it on your own as well. So the servant with 2 bags of silver also went to work and earned 2 more. Wait a minute. That's not the beginning. Here's the beginning. The servant who received 5 bags of silver began to invest the money and earned 5 more. And the servant with 2 bags of silver also went to work and earned 2 more. Now, I didn't include what the servant who had one bag of money did because we know what he did. We know exactly what he did. He he put that money under that mattress and it didn't grow anything. Right? And the master was angry with him. But we want to please God. We want God to be happy with us. So what we're going to do is we're going to do what the first two servants did who had bags of money. The one who had 5, he invested it and he doubled it. The one who had 2, he invested it and he doubled it. That is what God wants us to do. And when God gives us money, he wants us to take that money, put it someplace in the market, and then and allow it to grow. Allow it to grow. I forgot something. Allow it to grow. All right. So that is what he wants us to do. He doesn't want us to tuck it away and keep it just for ourselves, or don't let anything go to it. And we do that so many times when we make purchases such as buying new cars, buying new clothes that has no value, that does not grow in value. It actually, a car actually depreciates in value as soon as it leaves the lot. As soon as it leaves the lot, unless you're using it for, business use, right? If you have a business, it has some value there, and it can be written off on your taxes as it depreciating. But guess what? If you're driving it just for leisure, ladies and gentlemen, that car isn't worth anything. Isn't worth anything. Clothes aren't worth anything. I don't care how much money you spend on it, unless you don't use it and you put it away in a case or something. Like sneakers, they do have value to it if you don't use them, if you don't put your feet in them, and if you don't walk, if you put your feet in them and you just walk on carpet, but you don't put any cracks in them at all. I learned that from my son and my husband, who are sneaker fanatics, right? So when you make purchases like that and you don't use it, then it has value. But most of us, we go shopping, we using it to sport, we using it to say, oh, I got this, or I make sure I'm the man in the neighborhood, so I make sure I got this because I want to look good. And subconsciously we do, try to impress other people. We may not say it, probably will even deny that we are trying to impress other people, but deep down we care about what other people say. So let's start investing in things and putting our money into things that is going to increase our value and create wealth, right? Create wealth and create a legacy for our children. We don't want to leave a legacy behind just of good morals and values. Guess what? I don't you want to leave, some money for your kids? If you leave this earth, if you leave this earth, God forbid you leave it prematurely, let's leave something behind for our children other than the life insurance policy. Other than the life insurance policy, that can be in addition to what other income that you leave for your children. All right. So let's talk about it. Well, I'm gonna give you some tricks. I'm gonna give you some tricks on how we can grow this thing, grow this money up, so that you don't have to work 2, 3, 4 jobs. We don't have to depend and we can grow that emergency savings faster than if we put it in a traditional bank. So here's the first thing that I did. First trick was I had direct deposit. A lot of jobs nowadays will allow you to have the direct deposit into multiple accounts, into multiple banks, right? So my job at that time, I worked at the Country House. It was a high prestigious 5-star retirement community. And what they allowed us to do was we could have up to like 10 accounts to have money directly deposited. So you can either tell it to put a percentage of your paycheck into the into the accounts, or you could just tell them an exact dollar amount. I did both. Both was helpful for me. All right. 'Cause I tried it out, for whatever reason. I don't remember the reasons why I tried both, but I tried both, and it was very beneficial for me. Now, for the account that I use for savings, right? The account that I use for savings was put into a bank account that was so inconvenient. It was ridiculous. I don't even know how they stayed open this as long as they are. I remember my mom banking at that credit union. It was a credit union. And I remember her banking it there when I was little, and the hours there was ridiculous. Their late days was on Wednesdays. You didn't get there during their business hours. It was ridiculous. And I didn't even have a bank card because I wanted to be so focused on saving and building it. Now, the bank account was a traditional banking, because like I said, it was a credit union. So it was a traditional banking account. So the interest on that money wasn't that much, right? About 1%, probably less than that. Right. So it wasn't growing my money in fast or slow, but at least it was growing, right? At least it was a way that my money could grow other than me working a part-time job. Remember, I'm not that chick that'll work 2 and 3 jobs. I'm just not. I've tried it twice, right? But it just wasn't my cup of tea. It just was not my cup of tea. So putting it into a savings account helps, right? We want it to grow. And growing, it's not going to grow under your mattress. It's not going to grow at Macy's. It's not going to grow at Al's, right? That's a sports store, sporting goods store here in Delaware. All right. So I had, and it was so inconvenient. Not just with their hours of operation, but it's inconvenient. I had to drive. I had to drive to the place to take any funds out. It wasn't. I live south. The bank was north, and I had to drive for at least 10 minutes to get there. Right. If I caught a bus, the bus system here in Delaware is horrible. So it would have took me an hour or so to get to the place. Right. So it was so inconvenient. It was out of the way from my job, so it wasn't like I could pass by it on my way home or on my way to work. No, it was so inconvenient for that as well, and it was out of the way to my bank. So I had a percentage of or a dollar amount going into that account, and then the rest of the money I put into my checking account. All right. So that's one trick that you can use so that you don't touch it. Because we want to be, I know I can't trust myself. Can you trust yourself to not touch that money? If you see it just in your checking account where you have funds coming in, going and coming out, coming and going out. I got to get that right. Coming in and going out. Right? Can you trust yourself? I can't trust myself. I see it. If there's something that I want to get, I'm going to get. That's the transparency moment. That is me. Right? If I still like to eat out. So if I see that it's there, I'm going to use it. All right. So second thing, right? Second trick is put it in an account that is not easy to access. Right? I've already talked about that. Put it in an account that's not easy to access. The third trick is, and the reason why you want to do that is because you don't want to, I didn't create a tab for that, but here we go. The reason why you want to put it in an account that is not easy to access because you don't want to easily be able to just withdraw from it. All right. All right. So the third thing is, I didn't create a tab for that. I apologize. Is compound interest. Put it someplace where you're going to see compound interest. Compound interest. All right. Compound interest is basically, let's say you have a sandwich, right? You have a sandwich and there's layers, right? So in the sandwich, you have the bread, and then you have the meat, then you have the lettuce, then you have the tomato, then you have the bacon, then you just keep piling it on. So compound interest is basically that. You put money in the account, and every month, 2 months, 3 months, the interest piles on top of that. All right. So let's say you put $10,000 in their bank. You put $10,000, and then they give you interest. Let's say 2%, 2% interest, and then then the money grows. For after some time, the money continues to grow. So they add 2% on top of that. So like the sandwich continued to grow higher and higher and higher as you pile stuff on. Same thing with interest. The money continues to grow on top of that, on top of that, on top of that. All right. So the more interest you have, they give you, the faster it will double. The faster it will double. So if traditional banks usually give you about 1% or less. That's most traditional banks. Now it will take about 72 years to see your money double. So you put $10,000 in the bank and you don't put anything else in it. $10,000 in the bank, and it's going to take you 72 years to get $2,000. Now, With other banks where you might get where you would get more interest, then you will start seeing some growth happening and it growing faster. So let's say you had 6% interest, right? 6% interest, that's going to take you, it's going to double within about, I'll say about 6 years or so. Now you put $10,000 and you don't put anything in it anymore. $10,000, 6 years, 6 years with six interest, it's going to double in about 6 years. So $20,000, and then it doubles again, and then it doubles again. So that's how compound interest works. Now my numbers might be off. I apologize, but that's basically how it works. The more interest you have, the faster it will double. All right. So you want to put it in. There are several types of savings accounts out there that you can find. You get more when you do online, um, deal with online banks. You know, that's more convenient. The fees are less, and they do give you more interest. But you got to make sure that you find one that is protected by the government in case of the banks fail. All right, in case the banks fail. So with that being said, right? Let's say I found a bank after I realized how I was being cheated by my credit union and it was only giving me 1%. So I was like, well, I asked a man. He said, "Man, I got $10,000 in interest this month." I was like, "How you do that?" He was like, "Well, you got to make sure you have money in there." I was like, "Okay, there's got to be more to this." So I did the research. He wasn't trying to tell me, so I wasn't going to rely on him to get my information. So I did the research, and it's all about interest. It's all about compound interest. So while I do it now, right? My husband is the main breadwinner right now. Like I told you earlier, business is starting to move forward. Oh, I didn't tell you, did I? Yeah, business is moving very, very well and very moving forward. I'm excited to share with you that we have increased our savings. And because I researched and found another way that we could save better and faster, we put ours into a money market account. A money market account where we're getting about 2 to 4% interest every 3 months on our savings, and it's growing faster and it's growing lovely, right? So there's so many different ways and so many different avenues that we can use so that we can grow our money. All right. I will not recommend that you start paying off debts right now. If you don't have a savings, if you don't have a solid and secure savings plan in place, ladies and gentlemen, paying off debt right now, and when the emergency happens, it's going to put you back into the negative with your creditor that made arrangements with. All right, your credit card payments, they want you to pay the money back. That's how it works. They want you to pay it back. So with not paying it back, then guess what, ladies and gentlemen? And when the emergency happens, like let's say your car breaks down, now $500. It's going to cost you $500. Your car breaks down, it's going to cost you $500. Now the only thing you have is money for paying off those credit card debts. Now it's putting you in a bind. But if you have your emergency savings in place, you could take from that emergency savings and just keep replenishing it. All right. So that's where you put it, into a savings funnel that's going to yield you better interest. All right, yield you better interest. Now I know that all most financial experts say you need 3 to 6 months of your emergency savings account should equal 3 to 6 months of your monthly expenses. Now, I am different. I've never been the type of person to try to go with the trend. I've always been told that I act, older than my age, but I don't care. I'm going to go against the trend because I found that I thought about it. 3 to 6 months, that's not enough money. When I lost my job in 2008, 2007, I lost my job in 2007. I was out of work for 2 years. I had little odds and end jobs, but that they weren't covering my bills, right? And I thought about that. If I had only 3 to 6 months of my emergency savings, the other year and a half, I would have been stuck. I would have been stuck. It was, at that time, we were going through the Great Recession, right? We were going through the Great Recession and there was no jobs around. So here we go again, what, 12 years later? 12 years later, we're in a pandemic and there's no jobs. Unemployment rate is sky high. The unemployment rate is sky high. Let me give you some numbers. So, unemployment rate right now is at 6.7%. That's higher than it was during the recession. And they're predicting it to go up before the end of this year. They're predicting it to go up before the end of this year. And they are predicting that it's not going to start dropping until the year 2023. 2023, that's a long time to be unemployed and relying on a stimulus check. So that is like 140,000 people without a job. That's a lot of people, ladies and gentlemen. So those people who only had 3 to 6 months of an emergency savings account, that's not that much. That's not that much. I'm not saying, now, let me tell you what I am saying. What I am saying is have 6 to 12 months of your monthly expenses into your emergency savings. That's what it should total out to. And if we can get it up there, come on now. 6 to 12 months, right? 6 to 12 months. That gives you a pretty good cushion to live off of. And then your eyes and end jobs can cover what other things that you need to take care of. And, while you're using that emergency savings. I don't know why it's not popping up. Anyway. So while you're still looking and still waiting and you're still trying to figure things out, 6 to 12 months, doesn't that sound a little bit better? Let's take, for example, let's say we're not in a pandemic. Let's say we're not. You have your own personal economic problems, right? You have your own personal economic problems. And right now, I got to get ready to get off of here. All right. You have your own personal economic problems and you lost your job. Let's say it takes about 3 months to find you a job. That emergency savings is gone in 3 months. And then you find a job, you get your first paycheck. For the first 90 days, you're on probation and you wait. You're getting your full check, but then you start at 90 days later, you got your benefits coming out. $400 is coming out of your account now. That's a lot of money. Now your check is smaller, and you might have to dip into that savings just to accommodate for that, right? So, but if you have 6 to 12 months, at least you have a nice cushion. Because you still have your emergency savings for 6 more months in there. So if the car breaks down unexpectedly, you can still take from that emergency savings. But you start putting money back into that to replenish that emergency savings because now you're working. See, there's a method to my madness, right? There's a method to my madness. And I am so excited that, God just showed me this revelation. Tell my people, save more. And then when you have a nice cushion, then you can start paying off your debts. Then you can start paying off, investing, right? Investing in real estate, investing in stocks, investing in bonds. And then you can start doing these things, right? So while people are still worried and stressed, blah, 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 blah. Now, of course, if we all have multiple streams of income, like Solomon suggested in Ecclesiastes, or told us to do, not suggested, he told us to do in Ecclesiastes 11:2. Now, Solomon was the wisest and wealthiest king that Israel ever had. and he was wealthy. He had money after money after money. He had grandma's money. And he was wise. He know how to manage that thing. Ecclesiastes 11:2, he said have multiple streams of income. He said have 7 or 8 streams of income so that when one fails, the other will pick up. The other will pick up. Isn't that amazing? Then we can live off of the profit. You can live off of the profit of those other incomes when one fails. So real estate investors, I read an article last year that a woman had 7 properties and they were all in default because she had a loan out on every single property. she That's a lot, and she was in default because nobody could pay their rent and they couldn't evict, so that property was just stagnant. Another stream of income, what if she has some intellectual property, the books to sell, a service she could produce? People like she was I think she was Indian. So if she could cook, if she liked to cook, people Americans love exotic food. She could have made a killing while she waited for, her real estate to start producing income. So that's just what I'm saying here. We want to build a legacy, we want to build wealth, and we want to be good stewards. So in Matthew 25, 16 and 17, be like the 2 stewards who invested the master's money. The money doesn't really belong to us, ladies and gentlemen. It all belongs to God. So why don't we follow his principles and we can live the life of peace and prosperity that he desires for us to have, right? So I know this past week I've given you a lot of information, and I want to help you. I want to help you because you can save $700 in 7 days. $200. I said 700. $200 in 7 days. But it takes discipline, it takes consistency, and it takes motivation, and it takes encouragement for you to get there. You can save more than that, but it takes discipline and it takes a plan. I'm that coach that's going to help you with that plan. And if you're ready to get started, we have an array of programs and services that's going to help you. We working with you with your budget. We're working with you with your credit, and we're working with you to restore your credit and giving you other information and education about other ways to create that multiple streams of income. So reach out to us. Our number is 328-1703. For whatever reason, the things are not popping up. Our number is 328-1703. We are open Monday through Friday. On Tuesdays and Thursday evenings, we are open late till 7 p.m. So all the other days we're open till 5. Reach out to us, set up a consultation. The link is up there in the status. So you can set up a consultation using that link, and we will talk about where you are right now and where you what you have to do to get where you want to be affordably. All right. Reach out to us, Financial Bondage Broken. We are here to help you be a good steward over what God has given you. God bless you, and you have a fantastic day.